Hello world, welcome to Cybercreed. Today we are going to solve one of the questions that is asked in TCS Codevita, which is known as Swayamvar, and we are going to look at the most optimal approach of solving this question. So let's get started. Well, looking at the question seems pretty big, but it's the easiest question that was asked this year in this mock vita. The first thing that I would like to tell you here is that after seeing this much large question, please don't panic. The larger the question is, the more easier it gets to solve. So let me just simplify this question for you. In this question, well, if you want, you can pause the video here and just read the question. But what this code is basically saying is that you will be given a list of brides, means the woman who wants to get married, and here they have to choose their groom, and this is what it is basically written, and there are some condition of how they will be choosing those grooms. So in this here it is given that the first of the bride will be given the highest priority to choose the groom, and then again the next priority goes to the next and things like that. Means until and unless the first bride did not choose any other groom, till then no other can choose. And when she failed to choose the groom just move towards the back side. Means if the groom is here, and if she did not like the groom, then this groom just moved towards the end of the groom list, and if this was initially the list, he just moved back. And if this was also not selected, then this also moved back, and when it is fine, then this both pair are done. Then this both pair are simply removed, means their marriage is fixed. But if the first, like if it is the first, and if this first bride is not able to get married to any of this groom, then the rest of the bride won't stand a chance to get married. So this is what this question is basically trying to tell us. So the first and the foremost thing here is that how they are going to choose their bride. So here, as you can see in the question, it is given that each person either drinks rum or mojito, and bride will choose only groom if he drinks the same drink as her. Means if she is also a drunker and she like wine, then he also like wine, then and only then the marriage is going to be successful, or else she is not going to marry any other type of drinker which does not meet her flavor. So of course, so here whatever flavor she likes, her husband should also like that same flavor, so that their combination becomes perfect. And if their flavors does not match, they are not going to marry. So this is basically the constraint. So let me just show you how simple this question is with the help of this input and output case. So here you can see the first is R, M and M, and the next this is our bride. See, first one like rum, then mojito or whatever you can say, and then in the list of grooms, means the husbands or the men, it is R M R. He like mango fruity, he like rasna, or whatever you can think of. When the first bride come to see here, is he also like R? No, it is not same as R. So you are not going to be here, you are going to move here, and the next will become, next list will be R M R. This R will come here, this M will come here, this R will come here, and this M will go just at back. And now again she will choose. Okay, now the first pair is made, this R and this R, they both are same flavor, so they are just going to cancel out. Now we are left with RMM and here MRR, and now this R will check this M. So of course R and M are not similar, so what is going to happen, this M is going to move back and it will be R M and M. And now you can see R and R is going to simply match, R and R will match, M and M will match, and this M and M will also match. So it is completely fine. There are no left bride and no left grooms here, so we are simply going to return 0 as the output. And if there is any people left, then we are simply going to return the number of unmarried couples here. So let me explain you with this example. It is R M R, M, and the next one is M, 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 and R. So here what is going to happen the first time when this C is going to check the husband, both labor are not same. So what we are going to do, we are going to just move this to back, because in the question it is given like we can't just go like this. Of course, you might be thinking that if R is not choosing M, then we can simply move to M and M. So in this question it is strictly given that the first one is the highest priority, and until and unless this R is going to get married, others won't get chance to get married. So until and unless this R find the couples, other will still remain same waiting for their grooms. So when R and M does not matches, this M goes back and it will be M, M, R and M, and again this R check with this M, it also does not match, so it will become M, R, M, M. Again it won't match, so it will be R, M, M and M. So now what will happen, this R and R will match, so it will just cancel out, and again this M and this M will also match, this will also cancel out. Now here you can see R and M, so this M will go back, but you can see there is no more R here, means no more rum drinker. So we are simply going to say you are not eligible to get married, because this R is not going to pass the chance to this M to find the couple. So we are simply returning true to in this case, because two of them remained unmarried, because according to the question this smaller bride is not able to get married until and unless this greater bride got married. So this is the condition, that is why we are not going to pass it to any other member in this list, and the first one is the biggest in the home and the last one is the smallest. So this is the priority of bride. Well, now let us just see how we are going to implement this in our code. Let's say the question is R, MM, and it is MR, MR. So what we can do, we can simply just think it as a list, and there are list or array, whatever you want to think, and this is a list and this can also be a list. And then what we are going to do, we are going to compare like R and M. Of course, if they are not similar, what we are going to do, we are going to pop this element from the very beginning and push it back. So when we are going to pop, the list will become R, M, R, and when we are going to append it back, it will be R, R and M. So when the condition did not match, we are simply first popping out the first element and pushing it back. Then in the loop, in the next iteration, it will just match R and R, and of course this both are matched pair. So when this paired are matched, means their marriage is fixed. So what we have to do, we have to just remove this R and this R2, means of course you have get married, so now get out, and now our both list become R, M, M, and this become M, R, M. And again we are going to do the same step as above. We are going to match this element with this element, and if both the element did not match, what we are going to do, in the second list we are going to first pop, then push. First we are going to pop, then this will become R and M, then when we push it back, it is going to be R, M, M, and now this R and this R will match, and this M will also match, and this M and this M will also match. So like this we can simply do this code. We are going to code in Python, because in Python there is inbuilt data structure for this doubly ended queue. Well, you can perform this action with your list, but just always remember, popping element from the very first beginning will take big of n time complexity. Means when you are going to pop this element, like M is popped out, then what does the list internally do? It just rearrange them, like making it 0, making it 1. So it takes big of n time complexity. But we can use the data structure known as DQ or doubly ended queue, in which you can either insert from the beginning or insert it from the back, and you can also remove from the beginning, remove it from the back, and the time complexity here is just big of 1. So we are going to use doubly ended queue so to minimize the time complexity. Well, of course, with the help of list also, this code is going to be done and it will run fine on the TCS Codevita site, but you have to always be careful to optimize your code as much as possible. So we are going to use a doubly ended queue for this purpose. So let me show you the code. So here is the code. The first we are going to import our doubly ended q in our Python, and in any other programming language there is always this data structures pre-built. Of course, if it is not C, then in like C++, Java, the data structure is already pre-built. And here we are going to check n. And what is n? How many number of brights are there? And of course the number of brights is equal to the number of grooms, so we are just going to take it in n. Then what we did, we just simply took r here like this, and we just took both of them in a single line as a string. Then we splitted it, and the b becomes and this g becomes mr. Then what we did in the next line, we just simply split every single digit like we discussed earlier. We just make this b will be something like, in this case it will be r comma m like this, and this g will also be splitted, and it will be also be something, when we inserted mr, it will be like m comma m comma r. And this is what it is basically going to do, and it is completely converted to a doubly ended queue. Now we can perform actions related to doubly ended queue. Here I have just used C as a counter, but you can also just simply print the length of this queue or doubly ended queue at the end of the code. That will also be same. And now what we are going to do, we are going to simply loop through each of the element. Like first we are going to r 0 1 2 and 3 like this till the n is definitely 4 here. Then we are going to check if these both are not equal, like if r and m, in this case it is not equal, then what we are going to do, we are simply going to pop left. And what does pop left mean? As the name suggests, it is going to pop the leftmost element. So m will be popped out and it will be saved in t. So now t will be having m, then we are simply going to append t at the very back. And what will do, it will just make r m r, and the m will just go at the very back. So till now I think every things is clear. And once it is made, then we are going to check if the first one and this r and this r, of course they both are going to be same. And then we are going to decrement our counter -1, because n is equal to 4, and the first match it's going to just decrement 4 minus 1 to 1. Then we are going to pop left and pop left. What we are going to do here, we are just going to remove the left element because their pair are matched. Means of course you can do marriage, you can go to your honeymoon, you can just get out of here. So get out, we are just making them out of here. Then it is going to come here, and this r and this m is not again going to match. So what is going to here, it is again going to just pop this leftmost element to the very back and append it. It is going to just pop this leftmost element and going to append it to the right. And once again, when if the pair is matched, then we are simply going to decrement our counter, or else we can just print the length of our list at the very end, and this will just print the same result. So let me show you. Either when we are going to print the C, when we run our code, let me just paste our input here, and it simply run and printed 0 here. But we can also do the length of anything, like len of either b or g, it is going to be same, and the len of b or len of g both are going to be same. So if we are going to run the code again and we are going to input the same, it is going to print 0. So this is how our code is basically going to work, and this is the most efficient solution. Of course, if you are going to use anything like pop from the list, it is going to take, this will take big of n time. And again, when we are going to remove the items from the list, it is again going to take big of n time. So it will take big of n squared time to do the job completely. So it is not the most optimal way, but here it is going to just take big of n time. So you can just see how much time complexity we have decreased just by using a data structure. And of course, I think and that you are familiar with this data structure known as doubly ended queue, because you might have studied in your graduation days. So this was the video, and I think that you just gained some information from it. And if you did so, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video and share this to anyone who is going to give the TCS Codevita exam. So thanks for watching.